your functions.
Yeah, you collecting the syllabus?
Oh yes, any syllabus
Yeah,
guys?
if you guys have a syllabus, I'll go ahead and collect it.
Yeah, syllabus.
I need a textbook. Yeah, me too.
Textbook?
Oh, yeah, I need a. I can't find
Math one, math one, math one. Got it.
You got them? This
Yeah.
one? Awesome. Okay. Let's go over function notation. Okay, function notation is every time you see f of x, okay, and it's read, well, that fx, it's read f of x, like that.
No.
Okay. Can somebody remind us what does f of x stand for? Y. It stands for y. Okay. F of x is just another way to write y. Okay, but function notation helps us plug in for x. Okay, sorry Dustin, I might have interrupted you. Okay, but f of x helps us plug into x and therefore find y values. Okay, so the old school way, we would have seen this. The old school way was this way, right? Y is equal to mx plus b. So then the new way, I don't want to throw anyone off, all that's changing is our notation. Instead of writing y, we now just use f of x, okay? But it's the same idea. Okay? But again, instead of saying y is equal to mx plus b, we say f of x is equal to mx plus b. Okay? Now some review, since I know some of us are new, some of us are returning. But can somebody tell us what did m stand for in y is equal to mx plus b? Not the x value, the slope. Good. It stands for the slope. Good. Which is rise over run. Right? Slope is rise over run. What's b then? I think somebody said it. Good. Awesome. Y-intercept. Okay? So let's do just get some review here just to make sure we're on the same page. Let's do a little bit of review, recalling then what identifying the slope and the y-intercept of a function. So Mr. Toscano will walk you through these. So write these in. Sorry, I know I wrote them all.
No, it's all right. I can live with it. So I'll just wait till you guys are copying it down. And all I'm going to do is go over the slope, and then I'll go over the y-intercept, okay?
Easy.
Good.
That's good.
You just plug in the points that you make up. -2, -1, 0, 1, 2.
Right? Well, it's easier than that because all we're going to do is take a look at what the values are for slope and what the values are for the y-intercept. All right, what was the journal? I wasn't even paying attention. I was over here daydreaming. So I'm just identifying what the slope and the.
Just what the slope and y-intercept is.
I daydream a lot sometimes, folks. I can't help it. Huh?
About what?
My birthday, my daughter's birthday coming up.
What day?
I'm celebrating on the 23rd, so that's why I gotta plan things out. I'm trying to figure out whose house to have that one up.
We can make jumper or what?
Nah, I had that last time. I was a total disaster.
Oh,
So we have f of x equals 2 times x plus 1. So the first things first is my slope in this case is going to be what?
2x.
Well, not 2x. It's going to be
2.
2. So my slope is 2. But what does that mean? Okay? Did you guys see that, right? Well, that means that if my slope is 2, I can also write this as 2 over 1, right? There's an invisible 1 right underneath the 2. So it's going to be 2 over 1. So that means that the rise, it goes up 2.
Those are right one.
And yeah, to the right one, run. Okay. Now, in this case, it gives us our what? The y-intercept. So the y-intercept is going to be what? That's easy, right? Not too hard. Any questions on this one so far?
No.
Okay. All right, let's go on to the next one. So for the next one, notice here that I have a slope of what?
1/2
Yeah, I appreciate whoever said 1/2 is correct, but you have a part missing. That's the negative, right? Yeah, negative 1/2. Now, I'm going to go ahead and mention that there's other ways to write this, and we'll go over it more in detail, but you can have negative 1 over 2, or it can be written as negative 1/2, which is right in the middle. Rarely seen is negative 1 over negative 2. Either way, you'll end up at the same location on the graph. Just know that when there's a negative, it can rise or the run. It can affect either way, but just know that you're going to end up in the same place on the graph, okay? And then do we have the y-intercept here? Is there any value on here? Huh? No, well, is it anything being added to it or subtracted? No, right? So as of right now, we don't have the y-intercept. And Mr. Calderon, if we didn't have the y-intercept here, how would we be able to figure that out?
You mean graphically?
Yeah, we would have to graph it, right? And then solve it through it, yeah.
So what is the value of the y-intercept? Since there's nothing there, it's 0. Good, 0. So if there's nothing there, it's 0. Okay, so that's our review of lines. So now we're actually going to do this.
Did you guys all copy this down? Can I erase it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
we can erase it first. Let's check this out.
Leave this here?
You can do it. You can erase it. I'll say
Huh? You erase it?
yeah.
Okay.
So say you get to read it.
Oh.
Is this the whole class? Or there are more to come?
I think
There are
this
like
is-
1 or 2 absent.
Yeah, 1 or 2 absent.
Okay, can you guys do me a favor? In your paper, draw the plane. Okay, there's your y-axis, your x-axis. So draw it out. You only need about 5 of the lattice points. Okay. So take a few seconds to do that. Let me make sure this is.
There you go.
Yeah, that's good, right?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. So you guys all have your plane? Yeah. Again, just 5 of the little ticks. That's all you need. Okay, and we're gonna graph first. Do this one in black. Okay. First, we're going to graph f of x is equal to just x. Okay. And let's see what this does, or what it looks like, I should say. First, let's go ahead and identify the slope and the y-intercept. What is the slope
X.
of that function? Not x, but the value that's in front of the x. So not 0
So
either,
1.
right? There's an invisible, right? An invisible 1. Okay, good. So it's 1, sure, but we can also say 1 over 1, right? It's rise over run.
Yeah.
What's my y-intercept though?
Yeah.
0. Good. So then let's go ahead and plot that.
Because you know what I said like that.
I'll plot that, I meant graph it.
You see
Question?
how there's a y-intercept certificate?
It's right. It's.
And there is a y-intercept.
You'll see right now. Yeah.
Got it? Okay. So my y-intercept is 0. So here's my y-axis, right? 1, 2, 3, and so on, right? So 0 is going to be right in the center there. Okay? Now the slope is 1 over 1. My rise is 1. My run is 1. So I go up 1 to the right 1. Okay? I know some teachers will ask you to plot, 4 or 5 points. Okay? I think that's pretty much self-evident right there, right? That's the line if you connect them. But one small catch that I see some students do sometimes. Okay, it is a line, so it should extend past those 2 points. Okay, it should extend. So I do want the line to go past the 2 points. I'll just connect the small line. Okay, I want to see it longer. Okay, and then please put the arrows as well. Okay, because the arrows tells the reader it keeps going, right? It keeps going. Okay. All right. Any questions on drawing the line? Okay. Now, Mr. Toscano will walk you through this blue linear function.
Do we redraw the graph or keep
No,
it the
same
way?
one. You're gonna draw them, we're gonna do 3 lines in total, and you're gonna draw them all on the same plane, so we can compare and see what's happening. The first one was just x. The next one now is x plus 1. So first, we'll identify slope, y-intercept, and then we'll graph.
Yeah. So in this case right here, keeping the same color system that I have with Mr. Calderon had, let's go ahead and identify the slope. So I'll put down here slope.
1.
Yeah, slope is 1. And how do we know that? Well, 1 times x is just x,
Yeah.
right? So that's why it's redundant to put 1 on there, so we always know that it's 1. Okay? So we got 1, which means that our rise over run is going to be 1 over 1. Okay? Geez, that is red. It's
Yeah,
like
one of those red.
spotty. Yeah. All right, and then my y-intercept in this case, I can see the y-intercept, right? And that's going to be 1. So it's just going to be above that 0. So we're going to write right here, y-intercept equals 1. That's that b, right? The b value. Now, this may seem like, I don't have to do this as long as I see it. I highly recommend you get used to just writing it out on paper so that you can reference it. It just makes it a little bit easier. So, my y-intercept is 1. So I'm going to start off here and I'm going to go up 1. Okay? Like that. Right there. Okay? Now, if that's my y-intercept, up 1, right here,
Yeah.
what I'm going to do then is that I'm going to go up 1, rise, and then over 1. Okay? see that there? Up 1, over 1. That's the slope. Now, as Mr. Calderon mentioned earlier, we could put multiple 1s, but this is fine. This gives us our line. Just make sure you grab a ruler, or if you have really nice penmanship, which I don't, but go ahead and make your line. Oh, let me get blue. Where's blue at? And you see how I'm lining it up I'm lining it up nice and neat. There you go. Any questions?
All right. Can somebody in, say, 2 words, describe what happened from the black line to get to the blue line? What happened?
Same line, just went up 1 because of the y-intercept this time.
Thank you. But the key words were it went up 1, right? Because of the y-intercept. Okay? From the black line to the blue line, we went up. Doesn't matter where you look, right? Doesn't matter where, but when you compare, you went up 1 unit, okay? That, please write it next to the function. Yeah. X plus 1 compared to x, it goes up 1 unit, okay? So what happens, just a quick CFU here then. CFU stands for check for understanding. Okay, what if I had f of x is equal to x minus 2? What would you expect the line to do then? It would go down to. Good. So from here, it would be right here then, right? And then you would do the slope and you draw your line. Okay? That right there, guys, is the key idea behind this concept. We're transforming, okay? So we got one more example. This one, we're tight on colors. Something that's visible, we'll do red. On this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're still drawing on the same plane. Yeah, on the same plane.
I got blue, I got my green. All right, folks, so we have f of x equals 2 times x plus 2, right? So again, as we did before, in this case, what's my slope?
2.
Yeah, 2, right? And the rise over run means what?
2
Yeah, 2 over 1, right? Okay, it's gonna go up 2 over 1. And then my y-intercept is gonna be what?
2.
Yeah, 2.
You said it's 0 about 2 is
That's right. So let's do that.
up 2 and right 1.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So we're gonna go up 1, 2. So here's my y-intercept. Okay. Now watch the difference here. Okay. I'm gonna go up 2, 1, 2, over 1. Whoops. And then just so I'm making sure I'm absolutely clear on this one, I'm going to do it again. Up 2, over 1. 1, 2, over 1. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to line it up as straight as possible, okay? And it's going to be in red so you can compare it. Yeah, that's kind of straight, right? All right, so what do you notice here? Is this line parallel to the other two?
No.
Why not?
Because it goes up 2.
Yeah, and that's because of the slope, right? The slope does that. Now, the y-intercept, it still went up too, and it's close to it, right? But the key thing is here understanding that that too changes the angle of that line. Okay? It makes it what? Can we think of a word? What does it make the line more? Huh? Yeah, the steeper, right? Yeah. It inclines a little more. Anything else, Mr. Calderon?
That's pretty much it, yeah. So, the red line, right, well, compared to both the blue and the black line, is steeper, right? If you're a hiker, well, if you're an experienced hiker, you're gonna want to go steep. But right, if you're just walking, right, and you see the path to your left, and it's like, you know, going this at this angle, then you see the path to your right and it's going like this, probably gonna go left, right? Probably. Red is steeper. Okay? So please add it here to the side. Okay? It was steeper. And not only that, okay, from the black line to the red line, right, we did what also? We went up 2, good. Up 2, okay?
Go ahead and jot that down in your notes.
Good, so that's, again, that's the gist, that's pretty much what 6.2 is, we're done with the concept, okay? So now we're gonna have you practice this in your assignment, in your book, I mean, and your assignment is, no, it's actually, we're in the 200s. 274, numbers 1 through 5. Okay?